Shabbat Shalom. Abraham Joshua Heschel, perhaps the greatest rabbi of the 20th century, a friend of Martin Luther King, marched with him in Selma, invited him to a Passover Seder. Heschel writes in a book of his, which is a favorite, called The Sabbath, the following. He writes, Judaism is a religion of time aimed at the sanctification of time. Unlike the space-minded human being to whom time is unvaried, iterative, homogeneous, to whom all hours are alike, quality-less, empty shells, the Bible senses the diversified character of time. There are no 2 hours alike. Every hour is unique, and the only one given at the moment, exclusive and endlessly precious. Judaism teaches us to be attached to the holiness in time, to be attached to the sacred events, to learn how to consecrate sanctuaries that emerge from the magnificent stream of the year. The Sabbaths are our great cathedrals, our holy of holies. It's a shrine that neither the Romans nor the Germans were able to burn. So I've been thinking about that because in certain ways, we need Shabbat even more now than we did before this horrible virus and pandemic. Even though most of us are having something approaching a Shabbat during the week, we're not working, we're not at work, we're socially isolated from people. I think that when we get to Friday night and Saturday, we need to even change our mode of behavior. Maybe not look at the news, maybe not read the newspaper, maybe not look at all of the news on our phones. And maybe we should take it as a time to really try to do holy things. Holy things such as being with family, holy things such as being in contact with family, and holy things such as thinking about what this all means. The Israeli pop singer Ishai Ribo has written a song called Keter Melucha, in which he says, he more or less asks God, what God do you want us to learn from this? The Israeli author David Grossman published his reflections last week when he wrote the following, quite profound, I might add. Grossman says, quote, for many the plague might become the faithful and formative event in the continuation of their lives. When it fades away at long last and the people come out of their homes following a lengthy closure, new and surprising possibilities might be articulated. Perhaps having touched the foundation of existence will foment that. Perhaps the tangibility of death and the miracle of being rescued from it will jolt and rattle women and men. Many will lose their loved ones. Many will lose their place of work, their livelihood, and their dignity. But when this plague ends, there may be also those who will not wish to return to their former lives. Possibly a consciousness of life's brevity and fragility will spur men and women to set a new order of priorities, to insist far more on distinguishing the wheat from the chaff, to understand that time, not money, is their most precious resource. This event has, for us, in my opinion, shattered our illusions. One of them that it shattered is the illusion that we can control the world. The illusion that nature is something which will do our bidding. As Jews, I would say that this is also a time that this plague should be a time in which we are jolted out of our complacency. So as we approach the Shabbat, I want us to think about that the most precious resource that Shabbat reminds us of is not what we own, it's not what we do, it's the time that we have. Shabbat reminds us that we are not the creators of the universe. We are really, in creation, the crown, the last part of it. Shabbat is a time when we cease to work. It's a time that we redirect our lives to that which is the most precious. For me, I'm at home with 4 other people whom I love very much, including my little 2-year-old grandson. And it is my goal that on this Shabbat, as I enter Shabbat, I will make my home, my family, my life, and my time into my cathedral in time. I hope that you will do the same. Join us tonight at 6:30 for services, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for Chevra Torah, and 10:30 for Shabbat services. My dear, dear friends, even though we are separated physically, I think about you so much. And I think about the times when we will once again be together. May God bless you. May God bless all of us. May God bless the world with a Sabbath, a Shabbat of rest, a Shabbat of gratitude, a Shabbat of peace, and above all, a Shabbat of health. Shabbat Shalom.